Isn't this exciting? Hello, people. Is it this one? No. That's not the button. That's the wrong button, too. Am I showing my age, everybody? But trying to figure this out. It's always the same. Hey, someone actually did some awesome instructions for me. I should have watched them hours ago. But hey, here we are. Let's see. Well, let's try to find again. I'm the host. I'm the host. I figure out that much. Can I add a host? Why can't I search something? I'm sure someone is writing me in panic to explain this now. Well, at least I hope they do. Hang on. Where's Lzzy? Lzzy, where are you? Hello, people. Trying to find. Let's in life together. I'm the host. Where is it? Does she need to... Hello, viewers. Oh my god, I'm so... No? Sorry, that's not what we're going for. Shouldn't there be one? Hailstorm rocks here somewhere. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Seriously. How does this work? Wait, what's that button do? So I'm very flattered at you guys asked to join, but with all due respect, we all want Lzzy to be here. Am I this stupid? You know what I'm doing now? I'm writing help in a chat window next to me. And see if they understand how desperate I am. And I will get to a lot of questions, answering questions of yours as soon as I figure this out. So there's guests. And where's next? So yeah, I'm the host. Oh my god, this is terrible. Well, this is awesome. Will be awesome very shortly. Hello, people, slowly joining, one by one. People send me roses. That's probably nice. Hello, Crash. Hi. Hey, people. Hey, everybody. I'm not supposed to be here by myself, but I'm feeling extremely stupid. I'm the host. Invite. Shouldn't it be like a search function or something? Ah, see, the younger generation, Olympia, shout out to Olympia, we'll officially call you younger generation, has explained to me. So I simply have to wait. That's easy. I can do that. All right. Hey, everybody who are already here. And trying to, as I'm slowly figuring this out. Yes, sorry. I don't know who you are who keep asking me, but you're not the one. No, sorry. Um, okay, figuring this out. No. So, okay, so now we have to ask Lzzy to... No, Lzzy did not forget. She's a pro. She's a total pro. Yeah, whoever you are who keep asking to join the live, the answer is no. Stop asking. We're waiting for Lzzy. Maybe, did I do something stupid now? We're waiting for Lzzy. We're waiting for the star of this show, essentially. Hello, everybody. Gandalfing? No, I'm sitting on the floor, actually, because my charger cable is as short as it is, so no Gandalfing here. Gandalfing is a Twitter phenomena. What's going on? This app terrifies me. It clearly... Either I have lost touch with reality completely and what's going on, or all of you have who understand how this works. So yeah, people like the live thing. Hi, hello. Thank you for loving Dance Devil Dance. Thank you for listening to it. Thank you for making it hit charts and stuff. Have a lot of you to thank for that. And Lzzy in particular. Okay, and let's see. What? I'm awful at this. Let's see. Yeah. Yes. So there's a chat window next to me where I'm being complimented on my stalling. Yeah. I'm a I'm a media mogul when it comes to stalling, wasting everybody's time. But that's fine. I'm just worried that I turned off. I might have done something so turned off. People, those roses, you don't pay to send them, right? Please, because if so, don't. Uh, but love seeing you all. And what does this say now? Guests, two messages. Let's see. We're still hanging out. Yeah, okay, yeah, I get to confirm. Don't send roses. You don't need to pay to be here. It's all free. I'm just happy that you're here, listening to me talking about absolutely nothing while scrolling through this. I feel I should wear reading glasses. It would be an honest and accurate look for this. Okay. Okay, other people are as confused as I am, and I deeply appreciate that. And and yeah, so and again, well, if you're gonna do roses, that's all up to you guys. But I didn't ask for them. What are they good for? What do you get? What do I get from them? Can someone explain? My top 10 favorite bands? Uh, Beatles, Black Sabbath, Devin Townsend solo, and Strapping Young Lad, and other denominations of stuff that has that he has called a lot of projects, a lot of things. And then now there are some party cups and stuff showing up. What else do I like? Well, three bands are almost 10. Close enough, isn't it? Stuff are like, well, happy birthday in advance, Dr. Stank and Frank's Monster. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Lzzy is as comfortable and, you know, well versed in this as I am. Every time I open this app, it just shows me something that angers and confuses me. But it's nice for a change to, usually it's Western nations that I give all my data to in another app. So it's nice, to look to the east for a change. Yeah, you're all saying very nice things in the chat. If I listen to Ghost, yes, it absolutely happens. What's the best crowd slash country I played in? Oh, it isn't tied to any country in particular. A lot of countries are a lot of a good time a lot of the time. That's kind of the thing. Metal is a global subculture, and everywhere you go, you meet friends. So, you know, I don't know the guys in Ghost. But it was funny. Like it, there was before Identities was more out in the open. We did play the same festival, and I kind of looking around and catering, and there was us and one other European band at the festival because we were in the States. I'm like, those guys around the table are the best dressed people here, except for us. They must be the Europeans. And that's how I found out what Ghost members look like without masks. All right. So what's going on here? What does this button do? I would have needed my niece to be here and take the phone out of my hand to explain how all of this works. How many people are watching? A lot of people are liking. Now there we see how many are watching. Tour with Ghost? Well, ask Ghost. I'm up for it. Will you ever come to Australia? Stay tuned. Wink. I'm very bad at winking with one eye, but that was one eye wink. Stay tuned, Australia. We we should tour with Motionless in White. We did. We did some shows together. My favorite Motionless in White thing though is that there are those very, very poorly made bootleg merchandise out there that you should absolutely not get. Except that ones we all t-shirts with a print of us on it, but Motionless in White's their logo. So we all got one of those each. That was too fun. If I will come to Calgary again, we definitely will, of course. I don't know when exactly next time will be, but sooner rather than later, working on those kind of things. Um, St. David's Day, happy, yay. Okay, sure, happy day with that. Parkway Drive, Lzzy Pyro, fun. Would be fun. Yeah, a lot of chatting going on. And what's going on here? So, oh wait, I'm awful at this. Am I not? Well, yes. What does this button do? No, I won't quit this live sending, this live broadcast out in the ether. I continue to answer questions until someone tells me what to do. That's not a question, that's not a question, that's not a question. Plan on coming to Denmark in the future? Yes, in a future quite soon. Come to Brazil, we will come to. Yeah, like, are we sold out in Austin? I don't know. What does it say on the homepage? Are we? If so, I don't know. Wanna write music video? We have spent all our music video money, but one more music video is coming at least that has been shot. So that's happening. Another Q&A on Reddit. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna see the request thing. Yeah. Um, uh, I'm um, I'm gonna have to write okay in another chat window here. And I have to type something in this. All right, we're learning. And I'm being complimented by my team in our chat window. It feels good in these trying times. We are doing EU festivals. Aren't a bunch of them announced on the homepage? It totally should be. Yeah, some are. We definitely are. How am I doing today? Thank you for asking, Silver Dragon 06019999. Apparently, with that number, there are many Silver Dragons out there. I'm doing pretty well. I am actually in Sweden visiting family, and I'm sitting here in the middle of the night on the floor in my childhood home, painted like this, proving to everyone, as a man in my 30s, that sorry, was not just a face. Habla español, parla italiano, minimale. Working on it. Are we gonna announce a Hailstorm and Avatar tour? No, but it sure would be fun. Because we did a little bit, and I enjoyed it. And I will say, I want to give all the Hailstorm and Lzzy compliments to her face. Let's see. Okay, so there are so many people working on making this work, and I feel like I am the weaker link in this chain. How did it feel when we got popular? Don't feel popular most of the time in a good way. I mean, our level of fame usually lasts one block away from any venue we play. So, it's very manageable. It's something we get to switch on and off due to geography, which is nice. I'm also, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was frustrated that we didn't have the attention we got now. And in hindsight, I'm very, very grateful because there were a few examples of people who seem to do well mentally and physically if they, are get to be told that they're great by strangers too much at a too young age. So I don't know. It's a nice thing that it happens now. So no name, you ask if so I used to be a German teacher, you say. How was the transition from teaching to music? I was a substitute teacher in whatever subject I could fake knowledge in, or, remember what I was taught in school. And that was something I always did on the side of doing band stuff, needing a job I could kind of turn down whenever I needed. Ha. Excuse me. And I was hoping that burp was going to be more memorable than that. Um, Sorry, I will get sidetracked by another chat window next to me. Now I write K, which, I always worry when people write K instead of okay. You worry that you did something wrong. I did not send a smiley or anything with it, so I'm sure the people are freaking out. No, no. So the transition has been extremely slow from, having zero income from music, but dedicating your life to it, to now having one income from music, and you know, and not having to do something else on the side, at least for the time being. That's me knocking on wood. And so the transition was slow. I have enjoyed 99% of the work I've done to support myself prior. I've been wiping butts on humans between the ages of 1 and 101, and I believe I'm a better person for it, at least in certain sense, to have jobs that are, because this job is so unhealthily much. What was I saying? So I have write another K in this chat on this side. There. It's so much, you get to think about yourself way too much. So therefore, that I got to work so much in positions where I get to think a lot about others, and it's so not about you. It was a good thing. I'm giving very long music answers. I'm reading while talking, so the words I say do not make sense. Um, will we, guys? Will we be touring often in the USA? I kind of feel we are touring often in the USA. I think, but the answer is obviously yes. We already are. Define often, but yes. Blah, blah, blah. And I hope to get to tour often in more places where we go not so often or not at all. That's kind of, we want to expand. Oh, let's see. What does this do now? It's me trying to figure out how any of this works. See, I'm kind of turning down people who wants to be guests, and you're still trying, which is, what if I switch to that? Well, that won't help in this. Yeah, I don't understand this app, but that's fine. We come to Grand Junction, Colorado. Weren't we there recently? I have recent memories of having a very good time there, more than once. Okay, let's. We'll scroll for some. You're all giving very lovely, lovely. You're saying nice things to me. I'm deeply appreciate. And when we will come to Mexico, as soon as we can, working on it. This we're working on a lot, and then limited days in a year, so we're trying to lay the puzzle on exactly how and when we're gonna do certain things. But Mexico right before or shortly before the pandemic, we got to go to Mexico for the first time. Absolutely, super loved it, and actually was one of those times I heard Lzzy sing live with Hailstorm in a setting it was a rough show because it was Mexico City around there. It's very high above sea level, and we are coastal creatures in Avatar, which means I was sucking in air for the very first second on stage, and it was a great time, but really tough to pull off that show. Cardio wise, we were kind of between tours. On that show, Hailstorm also played, and Lzzy was, singing like she was just, I don't know, was so good and with such an ease, so great. And it's one of those things that stuck with me when it came to us figuring out who we wanted to sing on this song we had. And I feel like I'm not keeping a thread going, but it's also very late here. But not for me because I'm incredibly metal. Yeah, and more questions. But this is wait. What happens if I press here? If we would do a Vegas stay, like ages, I feel, well, why not? I don't know why not. Isn't the saying like Vegas is where celebrities go to die? But again, we already established that we're not really celebrities, so we so that doesn't apply to us. So I mean, why not? I have four siblings, and they will not accept anyone's friend requests or follow requests anywhere. They're not in bands. When you're coming back to Dallas, I don't know, but it's gonna be fun. A lot of coming to different places. Tim Mushroom fandom, yes, I'm all on board of that. Huge Tim fan. Coming to Canada, working on it. We were there last summer. We had to perform in Hawaiian shirts because it was oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, Air Canada lost their stuff. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Favorite song to perform live? I always like to perform stuff that we haven't like. Okay, so I like two things, and I don't know which one I like the most. Well, I like the combination of if you do metal and if you have played, released a couple albums stuff, you build traditions around your live set, right? There's certain things that could and should happen every time certain songs just become part of the mythology that I don't see us ever not playing, Let It Burn, Eagles Landed, Bloody Angel, stuff like that. And that's for a good reason. Certain things you just keep in there. And I love that because we have a certain relationship to the audience when it comes to songs like that. So that's great. But the opposite is also great. The songs that feels like slightly deeper cuts when we put things together, things that we haven't played on every tour, and getting to balance both those things makes it hard to pick what I prefer, which song specifically. But I mean, it's just fun to mix that. What band I want to tour with the most? Um, I'm gonna say Judas Priest, but there are many friends and just people we are fans of. Favorite band? So many. But again, I'm leaning on when it comes to songwriting. I always end up falling back to Beatles and Black Sabbath. And it's funny that I think has been an answer, something you see quoted by Kurt Cobain and also Peter Steele or stuff. And I think it talks about the fundamentals and what is good songwriting and where all these things come from. You can kind of boil down to that. Oh, oh, so I guess it's this one. So what did I do now? Did that work?
Got it.
Hey,
Hi.
we made it.
Yes, how are
You made
you?
it. I'm good. So glad that you're here.
I'm glad I'm here too. It's been a whirlwind.
I've been doing amazing stalling here. Um, there should be a prize. There should be a Grammy for that, and I would win.
I'm gonna have to find you a trophy and send you best staller.
Where are you?
I'm at home in Nashville, Tennessee. We're about to do a fly out for a show tomorrow, but I'm here in the red room.
Awesome.
Red.
So, would you like to give the people in the chat the exact address
Yes,
if they want to send you things?
absolutely. I'll put it in the chat. Come over and party.
So now that you're here, I've been holding off talk speaking too well about you when you don't hear, because that why would I want to do that? So because obviously we are, a little bit talking about this because you were kind enough to sing on one of our songs, Violence No Matter What. And do you want to hear what I say about you when you're not in the room?
Yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Because people ask, how it all came to be. And I mean, it's obvious that we are very that it's that you being on one of our songs helps us in multiple ways, right? Like it puts some extra light and attention on what we're doing from your fans and everything, and that's great. But that's like so far from the first reason why it happened for us. It's about the music. The
Of course.
song started became a duet before we had any thought on who to even ask. But the thought process leading up to you is, I keep saying that I think you're one of the greatest voices of our time.
Ah,
There, you heard that, everybody, and
well, thank you.
and that we're just and that we also, as a band, we feel a kinship to Hailstorm. And maybe I already said this with you in the room, but not in this chat room. Where was I? Sorry, I'm a bit delirious. I don't sleep anymore. We put out an album. Uh,
Sleep is
that
elusive.
it seems to be, sadly, in the business we're in, that not all bands like each other as much as you want to think.
Hmm.
But then when you see bands that truly, I mean, in part, Hailstorm is a literal family in the legal definition of what that is. But also beyond that, you are as much as family as a band can ever be, as are we in Avatar. And that's very rare, turns out. And but I have so tremendous respect for when it's like that, because it's something you can absolutely not take for granted. And you guys are amazing for that.
Well, likewise, darling, and we see your camaraderie, and yeah, I think it's refreshing when you see a band that can have fun together, that still has fun together, that
Exactly.
can still have those moments where you're like, can you believe we're still doing this? This is crazy. And so we see that with you as well. And it's a shame that that isn't more the case. I mean, we get made fun of sometimes. Like I remember being on this tour and just this like stadium tour with, this very well known band that will remain unnamed. And,
Mm.
but they hate each other and they don't even talk to each other until they go on stage. And we were walking down the hall and one of them was like, "Hey, Lzzy, what are you doing for the day off? Day off is tomorrow." And I'm like, "I don't know. I think the guys and I are going to go have like a band date, like go bowling together or something." And they're like, "Wait, wait, wait. Like together? Like you're going to go out and have fun together?" I'm like, "Yeah, like don't you? That's crazy, So it's one of those things where, for some reason we haven't all killed each other yet. And, just we don't question it. We just keep doing it. But as far as the song goes, I just want to thank you and all the guys for letting me be on it because I got to unleash the beast with you guys. you know, so I've as the years go on, I have more and more rage, and the more need to get that out vocally and on projects. So the fact that you guys welcomed me with open arms and just said, "Hey, do your thing," it's very generous of you.
Well, the thing is that there's another thing. I think there's a Venn diagram overlap between our bands, right? That I mean, at first look, I think with Avatar, the word metal comes first,
Mhm.
but the whole rock factor, I guess, is very important to get to understand what we are about. And I think with Hailstorm is probably something very similar, but kind of in reverse. And especially
Yeah.
if we see when seeing you guys live, that it becomes very evident that you guys go hard, and that it's such a huge part of it that it's like we knew we had it in you. You had it in you, man.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's such a you said that in such an amazing way. when you and I were doing interviews in Paris, whereas,
Mm.
you're a metal band that leans rock and we're a rock band that leans metal. So we meet in the middle, and
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing when it happens. I'm glad you all like it. Everybody in the chat is talking about violence no matter what. And it's,
yeah. I
it's,
love
it's,
singing echo chambers and choosing to believe that this is what the world thinks.
mm, exactly.
By the way, isn't it crazy that we're both on TikTok? We're older than 12 and we're still not narcs.
I know, right?
Hello,
Still
fellow
doing the damn
kids.
thing. We still know how to do this. It's awesome.
Yeah, like it's totally not that I have the laptop open to me with a chat window open where three people keeps explaining for me what to do.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, we know how we can get here,
I
but
just need to wear reading glasses to
that's true. Well, I
complete
mean,
the.
maybe in physical years we're older than 12, but mentally I'm still there in some ways.
Oh yeah, the music business definitely stunts a person's personal development. We get encouraged to never grown up. Peter Pan
Yes,
syndrome rampant.
absolutely. And I still have those moments where, you have to, quote unquote, adult in certain situations. I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? Oh yeah, because I am an adult. I need to be doing this now. It's those moments of like, I shouldn't have to do this. No, I have to do this.
Do you do this when on tour, because there is that luxury of putting the brain a little bit in a jar for certain parts of it, because we hire professional babysitters, tour
Oh yeah.
managers, and whatnot. Do you also feel incredibly good if, like, I did this all by myself, menial
Yes.
daily tasks? Like,
Yes, absolutely. It's like the small accomplishments. Like, for instance, I did laundry, and that's a good thing. I'm getting,
did you do the laundry on tour?
uh, y- um, sometimes, yes.
Yeah, that,
Or
that that's when it becomes a big deal. Like,
yes,
I did it, and if you fold it yourself, also. I had
yes.
my laundry folded for me the other day in London.
Oh, that's nice. That's so, it's like, look, they folded it for me and everything.
Yeah.
Uh, I know it's funny because when we're doing laundry on tour, if I'm doing it on my own, it's like my first rodeo every time. Like, wait, how do you
Mm,
use this machine? Did I put it in right? Is it set
mm,
right?
mm.
Hey, now it's locked. Now I have to wait. Why is everything still all wet?
So there are some questions in the chats, but I can summarize many of them. Like, when will you tour? When will you tour? Insert place here.
Um, I mean, we're doing shows. We got stuff going on. I know you guys are out doing it too. So as far as a tour together, that definitely needs to happen in the future. Um,
I think so too.
yeah, we're projecting that. That's part of the reason why, for everybody in the chat, that's part of the reason why we do stuff together, so that then we can continue to do stuff together. There's more of an excuse.
Exactly. And also, I'm shit at making friends, so now I'm gonna latch on to your band. Like, it's gonna be awkward after a while. We'll
Oh,
see.
good, good. Then you're in the right company for that. It ends up that way sometimes. I mean, people look at us, especially as the front people of our bands, and like, oh, they must be just like life of the party all the time. Like, in a lot of ways, when I get on stage, I'm a reformed introvert. I definitely
Mm.
have many. I'm an awkward person. I'm a cheese ball. I'm goofy. And then when you get on stage, you're able to be this like amplified version of everything that you've ever wanted to be. So there's this little switch that turns on
Yeah.
right before you go on stage, and I'm sure, do you do your own makeup?
Yep. And
Yeah.
especially today, sitting in my childhood home. I'm visiting family,
Oh
and a lot
no.
of and because due to the phone charger, the length of it, I'm sitting on the floor in the living room in this face paint and feeling like I'm proving to everyone that this was not a face.
This is not a phase. You're sitting
This is
there,
the real me. Dad.
just sitting cross-legged on the floor with
Yeah,
full face makeup. It's great. I love that. That's
it's
perfect.
stunted growth.
Yeah, it's like it's like the same thing. You're still the same person. It's just, grown up a little bit, baby.
Yeah, can't believe we got away with this. But what you said about the stage, I I agree so much, and I think about this introvert extrovert thing, and that I think people get surprised because they don't realize what an easy, comfortable, safe space. If you like the stage, it
Mhm.
becomes such a safe, comfortable, and controlled environment to be extrovert in, to let things out in. You get the microphone so you can talk over everyone else. The communication is so much in your hands, and then you can kind of, when the show is done, you can run and hide and lock a door and disappear again.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy. I always think about the stage as being that safe space because once you walk out there, there's nobody that's going to be telling you what to do.
Mm,
No one's going to tell you how to do your show. If you want to stop the whole thing and go off the rails a little bit, you can. Um,
yeah,
and maybe that's something psychologically that we both were craving growing up, and so that's what drew us to the stage. But it still is my happy place. And honestly, out of everything involving this business, a lot of the things that used to be my escape became more involved in. I don't know why my brain almost thinks of it as work, but not the stage, not live performance. It's always
mm,
just an adventure, you know. So it's interesting how like you're still able to maintain that after all these years, and
absolutely.
it's a beautiful thing.
It is. Here's a question, actually, I will be interested to hear your answer for. Do either one of you regret signing a record contract and wish you would have stayed independent?
Interesting. I don't regret signing with a major label. What I think I would go back and do now is that instead of signing for a set amount of albums, I
Mm,
would have done maybe two or a couple
mm,
EPs to kind of like figure it out and then weigh the options. But that was not me when we were kids. When we got signed, it was like absolutely had no idea what we were doing and kind of went
yeah.
big, go big or go home. So, I signed a 6 album deal with Atlantic with the classic the classic hits as well is
Mm,
also on there. So and at the time when we were kids, we're thinking, oh, we're gonna blow through these 6 albums. And it's like, you know, over a decade later, we're still doing the thing, and I'm very grateful because I feel like if we had not done what we did at the time, we wouldn't be where we are. So
mm,
it's kind of like the same, like I get asked a lot, like, okay, if you could go back to your 13-year-old self when you first started the band, what would you do differently? And in all honesty, the childhood naivete that I had, um, it was also a huge vehicle for me being here. So
absolutely.
I almost wouldn't want to go back and say change anything, because who knows? And it's all I I've watched the that Eagles documentary like a million times and the intro in the beginning, Joe Walsh is talking about it and he says, well, when you're in this business and in the moment, it feels like it's chaos. It feels like you're just doing everything and anything and trying to see whatever sticks, playing everywhere and anywhere, and then you get past a certain point and you have a career and you've made something of yourself and you look back and it seems like it wasn't chaos. It seems like it was this finely crafted novel that was meant to be
Mm,
all along. And so I find myself thinking about that, as of lately and being like, yeah, there's so many there's so many turns in this highway where it could have gone easily the wrong way. And
mm,
and the fact that we're still here and we're still making music and we're still relevant and it's still growing is amazing. So I don't know if I would really trade that or maybe I probably wouldn't give my younger self any advice. I'd be like, no, just do your thing. You'll figure it out.
You wouldn't listen anyway,
I
would you?
probably wouldn't listen. That's very true.
Yeah, no, you don't get away from that. My answer is that we actually went independent now. Like this new the Danceable Dance
Yeah.
is out on Black Waltz Records and then distributed through 30 Tigers, and they are great, and I love it. And but we couldn't, it's again, like I say, you anyway gather all the experiences, good and bad, along the road, where you put yourself in a position where we now feel we had enough under the belt to figure out how to do it like this on
Yeah.
our own.
That's amazing. See, and that's beautiful. And I don't know what the future holds for Hailstorm when we're through with our contract, but it's it's one of the it's a beautiful thing, and I'm proud of you for going out on your own and kind of taking the reins. Um, that must feel liberating, especially with this amazing album. You
Thank you.
really, the entire album is just incredible. We even had a small listening party with me and the guys and just rocking out
Oh,
to the
really?
entire thing. It's just such a journey.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
wonderful, front to back. Hear that, guys? You
We
got to
are
listen to the
very,
whole thing.
we are very proud of it, and proud of how we are putting it out and all that. And also, I figured like no one came still for whatever reason, and still no one called me and tell me, "Hey, you're cute enough to be the next Beyonce. Here, we're gonna throw Beyonce release money on you." Then we might reconsider.
The Beyonce money.
Mm.
Yep.
That's why we're all here. That's why we do death metal infused something something. Because that's where all the cash is.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know, but especially with the face paint, I think you're cute enough for that Beyonce money.
The thick layers of foundation.
Yes. Yes. Well,
Do you have a favorite foundation?
um, I do actually. It is a oil-based foundation by a brand out of Paris called Typology, and
Oh,
I
there you go.
enjoy that.
My wife loves the
You're,
fact that she can talk foundation with her husband.
oh,
So now
I think.
I'm spreading that joy.
See, I never thought I never thought I've never I never dated anybody that wore more makeup than me, but I feel like, that
It's a
that
bonding experience.
that would be definitely a bonding experience. I never thought about that. That's amazing.
Another question here is, and I mean, it's one of I can kind of guess where you're gonna head with it, but I'm still curious if to ask it. From our league grind, what is the highlight of your career so far?
Jesus. Well, you're looking at it right now.
Oh,
Y'all are here.
figured out how
This
to
is it,
use
people. This is
TikTok.
it. I don't know. I feel like I measure it in like milestones, because I can
Mm,
think back to, I mean, even like playing your first bar finally, or when you finally get the chance to open up for somebody famous, or beyond that, then you're headlining your own shows,
mm.
and then beyond that, I mean, we won a Grammy in 2012, so there's that, but that was more of a like we didn't even know we were on anybody's radar. It wasn't necessarily like a real dream. It was kind of a joke, like, okay, when we win a Grammy, so the fact that we did was kind of a weird thing, and totally appreciate it, but at the same time, it's not the biggest milestone. I think that with all of us, especially, we were talking about adulthood earlier, being adults,
Mm.
and the fact that later on tonight, the boys are coming over to my place here, and we're doing like a basement jam over some of our
Yeah.
songs, like we used to. We like to do that before we go out and do any show, just to kind of get on the same wavelength. So I feel like that's a highlight too. That's a moment that we know that we're in, that we can appreciate. So I don't know. it's so many little things, little things like that. Or like the first time you actually like get catering. That's awesome too.
Yeah.
Food.
Copenhagen, 2005. First time we had beer in the dressing room.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Still, still remember it.
Yeah, no, it was a huge deal. It was also the first time we played abroad. So, and there were nachos and beer. And then we drank that case and I put in a second case. And then designated driver John starts to say, I go and wait by the car, start carrying things out. And he stood there for like 1 hour.
Oh no. Well, good thing you had your babysitter with you, you know.
Well, that was the drummer. There was no babies. Like
Oh,
he designated
God.
driver drummer, guy with
Yeah, you're all
license in
driving
the
yourself.
band. Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
yeah.
awesome.
This again, first time we traveling abroad to go to Denmark for us was like, 4 hours and you're in a different country. So it
Yeah.
was real early on our second
Ah.
demo. We did that show, but yeah, it was a big deal. It was definitely a career highlight.
Can you believe it? There's beer, and it's great when you're able to pass that on. We've had we've had people come out and open it up for us, and they're so excited because they're like, we have vegetables and chips, and there's beer, and like we pop it and we're like, of course, and then we all trade war stories about early touring days and opening up for bands where we're trying to like barter for like, can we just get like 6 water bottles, like anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, not everybody remembers what it's like to just be rolling around in a van, or we were rolling around in RVs for a while too, and just like breaking down every other day, and went through like 10,000 fan belts and who knows how many alternators, to get to the next
Mm.
gig. And so it's cool to kind of pass on that, the generosity. At least, I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, like whether you're bringing 10,000 people to the show or you're bringing two. If you're on the tour with us, it's like your family. We're a rolling circus, you know. So
Mm.
everyone's got to be happy, and we're all in this together. So
We are. I, So the new guy in the band is Tim, because poor guy has only been with us for just over 1 decade,
yeah,
and we knew him for all. He was also our in the very early days. He was our fan, as we didn't have fans. We had fan, and that was Tim.
a fan.
So he bought the first album up on release day and all of that. So we knew him. Then he was in other bands around Gothenburg and everything. So we had known him for forever. But first time he played with us, just a couple of hours south of Gothenburg, opening for this other Swedish band, Hardcore Superstar, and he was so deep. And then we had been on the road a bit, and we had been to Denmark and gotten 2 cases of beer and all that, and sometimes sandwiches and whatever. So we were jaded and well established at the time, we felt. But Tim was so impressed by that was entire case of Coke cans, and that was the first. And I was like, yeah, we don't really drink it. We don't know why we should take it off the ride. You can take the whole thing home. All of it? Wow. If we would have played our cards right, we could have split the actual money 4 ways instead of 5. Come to think about it,
That's
but we
very
let him
true.
in on too many secrets.
It's maybe that's what you go back and you tell your former self. Maybe we could split that up. It's funny. The same thing with our bass player Josh. He's been with us for like 19 years. Still the new guy.
Newbie. He's a
Mhm.
new step.
Yeah, still the baby. And but we tricked him into being in our band because we had lost a bass player, and he was. We would sometimes have some shows together. He was in another band with his buddy, and so being the brazen people we were back then, we just basically went up to Josh and said, "Hey, well, what does your schedule look like?" And he's like, "I don't know. I have a few things a month." I'm like, "Well, we have more shows. And would you like to come out and play with us? Just be our temporary bass player." And he's like, and like, we can't really pay you anything, but we can get you beer. He was like freshly 21. And so like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we started doing gigs with Josh. And then after a long period of time, we got him drunk and we were riding home from like Baltimore, Maryland, or somewhere,
Mm.
and he turns to me. He's like, "Lzzy, I got to call up my best friend tomorrow and break his heart, and I'm going to quit my band, and I really love your band. Would you have me as your permanent bass player?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, Josh, that was the plan all along. We got you. You were always the bass player." So yeah, and then we ended up getting pulled over, and Josh threw up in front of the cop. And then the cop was actually really nice because he was like, "Well, he's not driving, right?" Like, no, he's like, "All right, you guys can go."
Okay.
But yeah, been with us ever since. But it's funny about like whoever is the last to join the band, you're just forever the new guy. But
Yeah, somehow. Well, now again, yes. Hmm. I wonder if I agree with that actually. It's so weird because Tim fits so perfectly, like so quickly that now it's impossible to imagine this without him.
oh yeah,
That he just said he's also the young guy in the band, meaning he's about 4 years younger than me, but we met him at a time when that difference meant something, you know. So
yeah,
that we were 19, so we were grown men who had seen the world, who knew things, and he was 15. So
it's amazing.
yeah, but I wonder if he would have probably been in the band much earlier. I could imagine if he was just not so darn young back at the time. I don't want to keep you for too long. You have a life. Um,
No
but it was a
worries.
question here that I was curious about for us is what has been the most touching moment with fans when on tour?
Oh my goodness, there have been so
Can
many.
you single something out?
Yeah. Well, do you want the?
Yes.
Okay, this is going to get a little dark for a second, but it has a happy ending. And it is something that stop it. My guitar player Joe is throwing picks at me. Um, just dive bombing. So again, I warn you, this gets a little dark, but it has a happy ending. So this was years ago. I think this was in I want to say 2011 or 2012. There was a super fan that we would always see coming to the shows, front row. You know them. It's a whole different breed. The front row people coming to like 8 shows in a row. This young girl named Stephanie, and she stopped me by the buses one night. We had known each other for a while, and she gave me this little envelope, and it had something inside. And she said, "Open this up on the bus, and then tweet me afterward when you do." So I go into the bus after the show. I open up the package, and inside is a little kind of jewelry box, and inside the jewelry box is a razor. And in the note that she left me, she says, "I have been suffering from uh, uh, self harming myself for many years, and it's become an addiction. I don't want to do it anymore. This is my razor that I use. And what I want you to do is I want you to throw it away for me. And then I want you to tweet me the time, the date that you do. And from that day on, I'm no longer going to self harm myself. I'm going to make that promise to you." So I did, tweeted her. And to this day, and it's every June, I think it's every June 6th, somewhere around there. I'm getting my dates mixed up, but she still messages me every date, every year. "Hey, by the way, it's X amount of years free from self harm." And she went to nursing school. She's a nurse and she's doing well and she's married and does the whole thing. And so to me, that was a really beautiful moment because it was such a small gesture on
Mm.
my part. What she was asking me was not hard to do, but it was hard for her to ask me. And
Mm.
it was hard for her to get to that place. And so the fact that I was able to be a small tool in her
Mm.
recovery or an excuse to start her recovery is just beautiful. So that's one of the more touching moments that, again, I get to relive every year and celebrate with her. So yeah,
That's the best goddamn answer to that question I've ever heard.
it's that's the power of music, man. I mean, it's not it's so beyond you and I, and
Yeah.
and beyond the us just rocking out on stage and putting out
Yeah.
records. I mean, a song can change your life. You know, a something can ignite in you and or inspire you to be your best self. And so I think that's why we all got into it in the first place. And then being able to then again be a vessel for that for some people and be a voice for the voiceless, or you know, someone who doesn't think that they have it in them, and then they see themselves reflected in you. It's just it's the closest thing to magic we got on earth, you know.
Mm. And I do always, it's this weird position to be in. It's a privilege.
Mm.
Um, but I always have to think like people, they give us too much credit in many times, I think, because they feel like there's a form of projecting going on there where people who share these stories and then put it all in my hands as if I actually did something,
Mm-hmm.
always feel like, no, that's all you, and it's just, I don't know, you just get very grateful, I guess, that
Yeah.
just the fact that people bring so much meaning to what we do because it means something to them.
Yes.
That's something I make a point out of thanking people for as often as I can nowadays, that particular thing. And in the most extreme example, it's like the story you just told. And I guess, and I think it's overwhelming sometimes, but I think I find comfort in the fact that I truly believe it has extremely little to do with me when people share those kind of stories. And it's
Yeah.
really in the nature of the beast that is, like you said, that's what music does. That's what art does. And we're just, part of that, whatever vibrations in the universe, if you want to put out some new age description on it.
Yeah, I agree. That's it. That's beautiful. Do you have a specific tender moment?
Okay. Now I got so stunted by what you told, so it's hard to single something like that out. But definitely people who've been sharing stories in regards to mental illness and working on that, or tough times in life, gone through, and then our music or anything being part of something that lifted them or inspired them or was part of their healing process. Yeah, but it's no, I can't think of a single one right now. Not
No,
like
but
that.
and that's beautiful though, because there's so many,
Mm,
and who knew, you know? It's like
mm,
you think about when you first started, you know, writing music, or when you know, we were doing it very internally. I don't think
yeah,
anybody really sets out to be like, I'm going to like change people's lives right now. You know, it's the fact that you're able to be a part of it is just is enough. And I know that's what your music does for people as well. So
yeah, that's what we do. Hey, Lzzy, thank you
yes,
so much for coming on here.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
again so much for being on our little song and for, cursing and yelling and helping put down that little line in the sand that, as I don't know, we like a big table and have
Mhm.
as many people seated around that table as possible, but no one gets to be a fucking fascist. I think is kind of healthy
It is
outlook on that.
healthy.
and
Absolutely.
and for being with us behind the message and how we put it out with the lyric video. We're so used to the intimacy within the band, as surely you guys are as well, that I came up with a thing and now let's play that together, and you're get so comfortable in that in that intimacy. And then it's, for me, it was such an incredible rush, all those, because we don't do it often at all, like to bring
Yeah.
outsiders into what we do. So that you did it, and you did it so well. It was a rush. It was
Oh yeah.
emotionally hard to listen to even at the beginning, because it's so, again, there's a very intimate side to it. And that was a total kick in and out of itself. So thanks for everything you've done for us.
Anytime, darling. Anytime. And no matter what, Violence first and foremost, but also no matter what, if you need anything from me, you know I'm here. We're linked for life, bro. You know that.
Much appreciated. I hope we bump into each other this year at some point at the roads cross. They tend to do. And until then, so you said you have a show tomorrow. Have fun.
Thank you so much.
Make me proud.
Oh,
And yeah.
yes,
And as soon as I think I found this stop stream button here, so I'm gonna do that now. Thank you everyone who checked in and asked some questions and said some incredibly nice things. See you all on the road.
Yeah.
And take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.